Hey YouTube, this video is going to be a little long because I'm going to talk about certain things. I want to talk about the Bitcoin, blockchain. I'm going to show some pictures in my next video. I made some little Ross Perot charts. So those of you who are in your 40s and 50s may remember Ross Perot. He was running for president and he had really simple graphs and charts to explain his concepts. Well, I'm going to do the same thing with the blockchain, with the Bitcoin, with the digital currency. That seems to be a topic nowadays, and I'm sharing this because I just embarked on my blockchain digital coin journey. I took about 6 months to do my due diligence, and due diligence in one of my videos I talk about is your study of something before you invest your money. Make sure you understand it before you put your money, the risk your principal. So I studied the blockchain to understand what it is, studied the Bitcoin to understand what that is, studied other coins, Ethereum, Cardano, NuCypher, Shiba Inu, or NB, or NU, INU, however you say it. So my conclusions from after doing all my due diligence is that I wanted to risk a little bit of capital, and not really risk because I invested $100 into some Bitcoins. But the thing I want to talk about is, let's talk about the internet. Remember when the internet started? People believe it started in the 90s, but really it was part of the military going back, I want to say the 60s or so. I got a friend, we call him, he's a neighbor, we call him Mr. Precise, because if you're off by 1 year, he has something to say. But what I say is, I'm going in general, so you could Google to find exact dates. But let's say the internet started with the military, then it came to the commercial people, meaning us, around the 90s. You had the internet, everyone was excited. You had AOL, you had Hotmail, you had MySpace, then you had Facebook. So you can see all these different companies started out from the internet. And there's a ton, thousands of them. But if you look at the blockchain, my argument is the blockchain is the next evolution of the internet. So you got the internet during the 90s, blockchain started 2020 or 2010. We got about 10 years of the blockchain. Bitcoin happens to be the one that's making the most attention, but there's so much other things going on the blockchain. When you think of the internet in 1995, everyone had an AOL account, but they didn't know that Facebook was coming, or Google was coming, or Pinterest and Instagram. All those companies run on the internet. So now when we look at the blockchain, everyone's talking about Bitcoin, the digital currency, but there's so much more that's coming on. You got smart contracts, you got digital art, encryption, you got, the medical tracking of our medical records. So currency is just the first wave of the evolution of the blockchain. Now, people say, well, Kevin, where do you invest on this? If I look at things from a foundation perspective, you got the concrete, then you come up to the next level. You have your foundation. You have the internet. What does the internet sit on? The internet sits on databases and servers. Your lowest common denominator is going to be your Oracles, your Microsofts, your Ciscos. They have to connect all this stuff together. It's the infrastructure. There's not one building here that doesn't have a solid foundation. When you look at the blockchain, blockchain sits on the internet sits on servers, sits on databases. So what I did is I looked at it, I analyzed it, and for full disclosure, I purchased 3 coins. I purchased Shiba Inu, which is a joke coin, which means it's based on no technology. I purchased ADA, which is Cardano, which is based upon its own digital encryption and things. And then I purchased NuCypher, NU. NuCypher is what they say on the internet, or NuCypher. So that's my full disclosure on the blockchain.